Longevity without obsession. The quiet wisdom of a People often ask how Icarians live so long. They expect a secret superfoods, supplements, or perfect genetics. But the answer is far less glamorous. They eat beans. They walk every day, not to exercise, but to live. They nap without guilt. They cook slowly. They eat together. On this small Greek island, longevity isn't something people chase. It happens quietly, as a side effect of a life built around enough. Enough food, enough rest, enough connection, and in a world obsessed with optimization, Ikaria offers a radical idea. Maybe living longer starts with living slower. On the Greek island of Ikaria, time seems to move differently. Shops open late and close earlier than expected. Lunch stretches into the afternoon. Conversations linger. People nap without guilt. And remarkably, many residents live well into their 90s and beyond, often without the chronic illnesses that plague much of the modern world. Ikaria is one of the world's 5 so-called blue zones, regions identified by researchers as having unusually high numbers of centenarians. Alongside places like Okinawa in Japan and Sardinia in Italy, Ikaria has become shorthand for longevity. But while headlines often focus on what Icarians eat, the deeper story is about how they live and what modern societies may have lost along the way. Among all the habits associated with Icarian longevity, one food appears again and again: beans. This simple staple, humble, inexpensive, and deeply unfashionable in many industrialized countries, has become emblematic of a way of eating that prioritizes nourishment over novelty, sufficiency over excess, and rhythm over rush. Eat beans and live longer. Longevity expert Dan Buettner famously summarized, but in Ikaria, beans are not a superfood trend. They are part of a cultural ecosystem where food, movement, rest, and social connection are inseparable. To understand why beans matter so much, we have to look beyond nutrition labels and into daily life on the island. Ikaria, an island outside the clock. Ikaria lies in the eastern Aegean Sea, closer to Turkey than mainland Greece. It has rugged terrain, steep hills, and villages scattered across mountainsides. Historically isolated and poor, the island never fully industrialized, and that history shaped both its food system and its social structure. Old texts. Until relatively recently, most Icarians relied on what they could grow, forage, or trade locally. This necessity created a cuisine based on legumes, vegetables, wild greens, olive oil, and grains. Meat was rare, reserved for special occasions. Fish appeared when available. Nothing was wasted. But Icaria's longevity cannot be reduced to scarcity alone. Plenty of poor regions do not produce long-lived populations. What distinguishes Ikaria is how scarcity combined with community, routine physical activity, and low stress. People walk daily not as exercise, but because hills demand it. They garden into old age. They cook and eat together. They nap. They argue. They laugh. They take time. Food, in this context, is not fuel consumed between obligations. It is the structure around which daily life unfolds. The Icarian diet. Familiar, but different. On paper, the Icarian diet resembles the broader Mediterranean diet, olive oil as the primary fat. Plenty of vegetables, legumes, whole grains, moderate fish, limited meat, and occasional wine. But what sets Ikaria apart is emphasis and frequency. Beans and other legumes and delos, chickpeas, fava beans, giant white beans appear almost daily. They are eaten in soups, stews, salads, and slow-cooked dishes that improve in flavor over time. Vegetables are seasonal and often wild: dandelion greens, fennel, chicory, purslane. These greens are nutrient-dense and bitter, stimulating digestion and reducing inflammation. Dairy exists, but modestly, mostly yogurt and cheese from goats or sheep. Red meat appears a few times a month, not daily or weekly, and perhaps most importantly, meals are slow. Eating is social, unhurried, and rarely done alone. There is no sense of dieting or restriction. Food is abundant, but portions are reasonable because meals are balanced and filling. Beans, with their high fiber and protein content, play a crucial role in this balance. Why beans matter beyond nutrition? From a biomedical perspective, beans are a near-perfect food. They are rich in soluble fiber, which helps lower cholesterol by binding to bile acids and removing them from the body. They stabilize blood sugar, reducing the risk of type 2 diabetes. They support gut health, feeding beneficial bacteria that regulate inflammation and immunity. But beans also do something else. They slow you down. They require soaking, cooking, patience. Even when canned beans are used, traditional bean dishes are not rushed meals. They simmer, they wait, they ask you to plan ahead. In Ikaria, bean-based meals often cook slowly while people tend gardens, talk with neighbors, or rest. The act of cooking itself becomes part of a daily rhythm that discourages stress and impulsivity. This rhythm stands in stark contrast to modern food culture, where speed is often prioritized over nourishment. Food without anxiety. Greek-American chef Diane Kochilas, author of The Ikaria Way, emphasizes that longevity is not just about healthy ingredients. It is about a relationship with food that does not produce guilt, fear, or obsession. In the US, she observes, people accept levels of stress that are deeply damaging. A lot of it is in our own heads, how we think about food, productivity, and worth. In Ikaria, food is not moralized. There are no cheat days or forbidden foods. Wine is enjoyed, sweets appear at celebrations, and meals are communal. This absence of food anxiety may be as protective as any nutrient. Chronic stress elevates cortisol, contributes to inflammation, disrupts sleep, and accelerates aging. A diet eaten under stress does not have the same effect as the same diet eaten in calm. Beans eaten while worrying about productivity are not the same as beans eaten slowly, with friends, after a walk. The role of fasting and rhythm. Another overlooked aspect of Ikarian eating habits is intermittent fasting, not as a wellness trend, but as a religious and cultural practice. Many Ikarians follow the Greek Orthodox fasting calendar, which includes long periods where meat and dairy are avoided. These fasts effectively create cycles of plant-based eating throughout the year. Modern research suggests that intermittent fasting may improve insulin sensitivity, promote cellular repair, and reduce inflammation. But in Ikaria, fasting is not framed as self-optimization. It is a shared cultural rhythm that aligns eating with seasons and community norms. No one is fasting alone. No one is counting hours. Again, beans become essential during these periods, providing sustenance without excess. Critiques of the Blue Zone narrative. The Blue Zone concept has not gone unchallenged. Some researchers argue that data on extreme longevity may be flawed, relying on inaccurate birth records or survivorship bias. Others point out that focusing on diet risks oversimplifying complex social systems. These critiques are valid and important. Longevity is not guaranteed by beans alone. Genetics, healthcare access, social cohesion, and environmental factors all play roles. Moreover, Ikaria is changing. Younger generations migrate, processed foods appear, traditional rhythms erode. But even if longevity statistics are debated, the health outcomes observed in Ikaria, lower rates of heart disease, diabetes, and dementia remain significant. And perhaps more importantly, the island offers something increasingly rare. A model of life that does not treat aging as a failure, longevity without obsession. In many wealthy societies, longevity has become a personal project. People track steps, optimize diets, biohack sleep, and consume supplements in pursuit of more years. Ikarians do none of this. They do not talk about living to 100. They talk about what they will cook, who they will see, and what work needs doing in the garden. Longevity emerges as a byproduct of a life structured around sufficiency, not maximization. Beans are not eaten to extend life expectancy. They are eaten because they are affordable, filling, and familiar. This distinction matters. When health becomes a performance, it often produces anxiety. When health is embedded in daily life, it becomes invisible. What the world gets wrong about eating like Ikarians. When Ikarian eating habits are exported, they are often stripped of context. Recipes are shared, but schedules are not. Olive oil is celebrated, but naps are ignored. Beans are praised, but communal eating is optional. This selective adoption misses the point. You cannot out-eat chronic stress. You cannot supplement your way out of isolation, and you cannot replicate longevity by copying ingredients alone. The real lesson of Ikaria is not about adding beans, it is about subtracting hurry. Beans as a political food. Beans. There is also a quiet politics to bean-based diets. Beans are cheap. They resist commodification. They undermine industries built on constant novelty and overconsumption. In this sense, beans are anti-luxury. They democratize nourishment. At a time when food insecurity is rising globally and ultra-processed foods dominate diets, the Ikarian model challenges assumptions about progress. It suggests that abundance does not require excess, and satisfaction does not require constant upgrading. Eating beans regularly is not regressive, it is resilient. Can the Ikarian way travel? Can people outside Ikaria realistically adopt this way of eating and living? Not fully. Structural conditions matter. Many people cannot nap, walk to work, or cook daily. Economic pressure shapes choices. But some principles are transferable. Prioritizing plant-based meals that are filling and affordable. Cooking foods that improve with time rather than convenience. Eating socially when possible. Allowing rest without guilt. Treating food as care, not control. Beans are not magic, but they are a doorway. Conclusion: longevity as a side effect. Eat beans and live longer is catchy but incomplete. Ikarians live longer not because they chase longevity, but because they live in ways that do not constantly extract from their bodies and minds. Their diet supports this life. It does not compensate for its absence. In a world obsessed with optimization, Ikaria reminds us that endurance often comes from moderation, repetition, and belonging. Beans simmering slowly on the stove are just one part of that story.